Hey, welcome to the capital. This is my forever world, a creative project that I've been slowly crafting over the last 3 years. It's a passion project of mine and it's big. 7 cities, each with their own civilization, architecture and culture. There's lore, stories, all woven together into the very builds themselves. But this video isn't just about me showing off what I've done so far, although I really like doing that. This video is about helping you to start or finish your own dream project, because I know how hard that can be. So today I want to talk about the 3 main things that helped me stick with it, and hopefully they will help you do the same. If you've played Minecraft for more than a minute, you probably know what I'm about to say. You start a new world, you are hyped, full of ideas, you build like crazy for a week or 2 and then it just goes away. That spark that felt so real, it disappears, and the world that you were so excited about ends up half finished or abandoned. Now, this isn't a flaw in you or in the game, that's just how creativity works. And Minecraft is a creative game whether you play in survival or in creative mode. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is consistency, but not in the strict build everyday type of consistency. I am not here to tell you to follow a rigid schedule or to grind out builds on a daily basis. What I mean by consistency here is to find the thing, to find that one unique spark that keeps pulling you back into the project, even if weeks or months go by. This might be the hardest one because this is different depending on the person. For me particularly, it's trying out new build styles, new techniques, or seeing a cool concept that makes me go, ooh, this would really fit perfectly on the capital. For you, it might be something different. It might be a redstone farm, the storytelling aspect, the landscaping, or maybe the same as me. Maybe you find an inspiration on Pinterest and you wanna build that. Whatever it is, try your best to find it, hold on to it, and let it consistently bring you back to your project. Because to be honest, once you are back, even if it's just to look at the world again, you will feel the inspiration coming back, and eventually, without realizing, you are going to be building again. As you probably noticed, we are doing some building over here. So before getting into the second point, let me tell you that we are expanding the city of Elduin, which is the city of the Radiant Elves. We have the city outskirts already done over here. Then over this side, we did some terraforming now where the main city area would be located. This is on what we are going to be focusing today, with its own gate, staircase and everything. And then beyond this second gate, we would have the main palace or castle area, which will probably be left for another video. So now that we are all caught up, let's get into the second point. The second thing is something that I highly recommend, and that is creating room to grow. When I started the capital, I didn't just build the castle and wing the rest from there. I planned out the whole island from the beginning, not all at once, of course, but I gave myself a canvas big enough to build on. Now, maybe you are not a planner, maybe your forever world just became one over time. That's totally fine. You don't need a spreadsheet or years of preparation or anything crazy like that. That can be overwhelming. But it is worth taking an hour to sit down, brainstorm a few ideas, and sketch out some rough goals or areas to expand. And why? Well, because sometimes you will hit a wall. You will get bored or burned out of your current build, but if you've created, let's call them expansion areas where you have backup plans or rough ideas of what you want to build in those places, then you can pivot without losing momentum, without losing your rhythm. In a way, it's like giving your creativity a plan B. And often, the plan B ends up being better than the original idea. So also, don't be afraid of changing plans as you go. And that brings me to the third and final point. But before getting to that, let's talk a bit about the build process and what we are doing here. I spent quite a bit of time designing these statues, which are on a weird 22-degree diagonal, and that made them extremely complicated, but I believe that they really add a lot to the whole scene, so it was worth it. Then for the painting of the entire thing, I just used a noise painter with a mix of tough blocks and acacia. But now we need to come back to it and by hand begin adding some details, mostly highlights. And I have in mind just 3 simple things that we are going to do to hopefully get the build to come together. The first one is the most obvious one, which is painting the big arches. Since the build is on a large scale, I will follow the same gradient direction for all of them, where we will simulate as if the sunlight was hitting the build from the right. So we do that with sandstone and birch, and then the shadows to the left with oak, mud and spruce, which is a color palette that at least to me resembles a gold or coppery look. The second thing is a bit more simple, and it's just going around on these smaller arches and adding shadows underneath to accentuate them. Right now they are all tough and from far away the shapes get lost, so hopefully by adding some subtle darker contrast behind them we can make them pop out a bit more. Not a lot, it's a subtle change, but I think it works. And that's a cool thing because as you can see, you can highlight stuff by adding actual highlights, by adding actual brighter blocks, or by adding shadows instead. Then the last shading change that I wanna add is right here on the corners of these large structures. Since they are rectangles, I feel like the corners are the ones that should be the most reflective, so we will add stone bricks and maybe some andesite in vertical lines, just like that, to remark those corners and make them feel slightly sharper. Again, it's a subtle change, but I think that all together they help the whole build come together. But now yes, let's go to the third and final point of this video, which is trust the process. Yeah, we've all heard that phrase, but it's true, especially with Minecraft builds. Large-scale projects go through ugly phases. That's how it is. The build might be looking weird, the colors might be a bit off, maybe the vision that you had for the build is not coming together exactly as you imagined it, but you just have to keep going, because the realization of the vision will take time. One thing that helps me stay motivated is breaking down the build and dividing it into different smaller segments or different smaller goals that I can tackle one at a time. For example, first I tend to focus on the layout, then I try to get the scale of the build right, the proportions right, then I polish the shaping kinda at the same time as well, then I add the details, and finally the colors, and of course if there needs some adjustments I will add adjustments as well. So by zooming in on just one goal at a time, I don't get overwhelmed by the big picture that I have in my head. Even if the build is looking nothing like the final version, I know that I'm making progress in the right direction. This is the result of all we built for the city of Elduin. Is it finished? No, of course not, but this is as far as we are going to get in this video. Trust me, I want to keep building and see this finally finished, but I am not feeling inspired or motivated enough, and pushing through, building regardless of that, would be untruthful to what I'm trying to communicate with this video. So yeah, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, is that anyone can build their own dream projects. You just need a few things to keep you on track. Find that one reason that always pulls you back, give yourself the freedom and the space to grow and keep building, and most importantly, trust the process and trust yourself. This isn't about speed or perfection, it's about building something that matters to you, one block at a time. And with that, we are gonna wrap up this episode, and I hope that it can help you find your own motivation to build, learn, and create anything that you want to create. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Calvin, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.